The savannah was quiet that morning, the kind of quiet that pressed against the chest like a heavy stone. A faint mist hung over the golden grass, giving everything a ghostly shimmer. Young elephant calf, barely a year old, stumbled through the dew-soaked fields. Ow. His small trunk fumbled as he tried to grasp blades of grass, but his strength was waning. He had been separated from his herd during the night when a predator had scattered them, and exhaustion weighed him down like a boulder. He moved slowly, each step dragging through the soft earth, his large ears drooping in defeat. The sun was climbing, burning off the mist, and the heat made his situation worse. He was thirsty, he was hungry, but most of all, he was scared. Somewhere not too far away, the faint snapping of branches and the low growl of predators reminded him that he was alone and vulnerable. In the tall grass ahead, a shadow moved. It was a giant python, coiled near a cluster of rocks by a shallow pond. The snake was massive, easily the length of a small tree, its scales glistening in the morning sun. The calf froze when he saw it, unsure whether this new creature was a threat or a source of salvation. The pond nearby promised water, the one thing he desperately needed, but reaching it meant passing dangerously close to the python. The calf edged forward cautiously. His tiny legs trembled as he approached, the weight of his thirst urging him on. The python remained coiled, its head raised slightly, tongue flicking in and out, tasting the air. It had been resting for hours, digesting a recent meal, unaware of the desperate little elephant watching it. The calf dipped his trunk into the pond. The water was cool and soothing, and he drank with a trembling urgency. But as he bent lower, he lost his footing on the slippery bank. His small body tumbled forward, landing perilously close to the python's coils. The snake stirred, its muscular body tightening as instinct kicked in. For a moment, everything seemed frozen. The calf's large round eyes met the serpent's dark, unblinking gaze. His breaths came fast and shallow, his legs splayed awkwardly on the bank. The python, sensing an opportunity, began to slither forward slowly, the movement deliberate and silent. Every instinct in the calf screamed at him to run, but his body was weak, his muscles too tired to lift him quickly. The python struck with shocking speed, its powerful jaws opened, clamping down on the calf's hind leg. Pain shot through the young elephant, and he let out a wail, a sound that echoed across the plains. But something remarkable happened. Despite the attack, the python did not immediately constrict. Perhaps it sensed the calf's fragile state, or maybe the meal was too large for a quick kill. Whatever the reason, the snake paused, leaving the calf struggling in its grasp. In that tense, terrifying moment, the calf did the only thing he could. Kicked, he twisted, and he pushed with every ounce of strength he had left. The python recoiled slightly, surprised by the resistance, but its grip was relentless. The struggle continued, the pond water churning around them, mud splashing into the air. Time seemed to stretch endlessly. The calf's strength was fading, his movements slowing. The snake, sensing the inevitability of the struggle, began to coil around him, squeezing with terrifying force. The world narrowed for the little elephant, the warmth of the sun. The soft sound of distant birdsong, the taste of water all faded into a singular, desperate fight for survival. But then something unexpected happened. From the nearby grass, a rustling sounded. The calf's mother, a massive matriarch of the herd, appeared. She had been searching frantically. Her cries carried across the plains until they reached the ears of the scattered young. When she saw her calf struggling in the python's grasp, she charged with earth-shaking force, trumpeting in fury. The python, startled by the sudden appearance of a much larger predator, released the calf. The young elephant collapsed onto the muddy bank, panting and shivering, his small body trembling from fear and exhaustion. His mother pressed against him, nudging him with her trunk, her eyes filled with worry and relief. No, but the danger was not over. The python, now aware that it had been interrupted, recoiled, and struck again, not at the calf this time, but at the mother. The matriarch's reflexes were quick, and she dodged, using her massive body to shield her young. She stomped, kicked, and rammed into the snake with incredible force, but the python was powerful, its muscular body strong enough to resist most blows. The battle was brutal and chaotic. Dust and mud flew into the air as the two giants struggled, their movements shaking the earth beneath them. The calf huddled nearby, terrified but safe for the moment, watching as the fight unfolded. He could only hope his mother would prevail. Finally, after a tense struggle, the python retreated. It slithered away into the tall grass, its movements slow but deliberate. The mother elephant pressed against her calf, checking him for injuries. Thankfully, he had only minor scrapes and bruises, but the shock had left him weak. His legs trembled, and he leaned heavily against his mother, trusting her for protection and comfort. The relief was short-lived, however. Even as the python disappeared from view, the aftermath of the attack lingered. The calf's small leg was bruised and swollen, a painful reminder of how close he had come to death. The mother carefully guided him back toward the herd, her massive body shielding him from any other lurking dangers. When they finally rejoined the rest of the herd, the young elephant's ordeal seemed almost unreal. The other elephants surrounded him, nuzzling and reassuring him, but his eyes betrayed the fear that still lingered deep within. He had faced death and survived, but the memory of the python's grip would haunt him for days, perhaps even weeks. For the calf, life would continue, but it was forever marked by that harrowing encounter. Each step was cautious, each sound met with alertness, yet there was also a newfound strength, a resilience born from surviving the impossible. The bond with his mother, already strong, had been reinforced in ways that words cannot describe. In the face of the python's deadly power, they had survived together, and that connection would define the rest of his young life. As the sun set over the savanna, painting the sky in shades of orange and crimson, the herd moved slowly across the plains. The young elephant walked close to his mother, the bruises on his leg hidden beneath the folds of his skin, but remembered in every cautious step. The world was vast, dangerous, and unforgiving, but he was alive, and that in itself was a fragile triumph. Yet somewhere deep in the grass, the python watched. Its hunger remained, and it would hunt again. The savanna was a place of beauty and terror, where life and death danced endlessly in the heat of the sun. The elephant calf had been lucky this time, but the world was not done testing him. And so, as night fell and the herd huddled beneath the stars, the young elephant closed his eyes, exhausted but alive. The memory of the python's grip lingered, a chilling reminder of the fragility of life. He had begged for help in his own way, trusting that the larger, stronger forces around him, the love of his mother, the instinct of his herd, would protect him. And for one heart-stopping moment, they had. The story of that morning would remain etched in the memory of the savanna, not as a tale of triumph, but as a testament to the harsh, unforgiving beauty of the wild and the heartbreaking truth that life, even for the youngest and most innocent, is never guaranteed.